Welcome to Seawaywhiskywire. Tonight in the bar, we've got the Bunnahabhain 12-year-old single malt Scotch whiskey. Stay tuned. Hey, thanks for coming back. I'm Tyler, and tonight in the bar, like I said, we've got the Bunnahabhain 12-year-old single malt Scotch whiskey. It comes in from the Islay region of Scotland, and it's an un-peated Islay offering. I know what, right? Un-peated Islay. What are you talking about? Usually you think Islay, you think these big peat monsters, these Ardbegs, these Lefroigs, these Lagavulins. But Bunnahabhain actually focuses primarily on un-peated offerings on Islay. What can I tell you about Bunnahabhain? So the name Bunnahabhain actually means mouth of the river, and that's where the name comes from. It's a Gaelic term obviously. But that's what it means, mouth of the river in Gaelic. It was established in 1881 by the Islay Distilling Company, and it's located on the northeast coast of Islay. And I'll put a map up here to show you guys kind of where the distillery is and all that. Throughout the years, they've undergone facelifts and renovations and stuff, specifically in the 1960s, where they did a bunch of improvements to the stills and some of the equipment just to make themselves more economically viable and able to produce more distillate. It's gone through many different hands. Notably, it was owned by Burn Stewart. However, as of April 26th, 2023, it's now owned by CVH Spirits, which is really just the Scotch whiskey arm of the big parent company, Heineken Beverages. So everybody knows who Heineken is. And if you really look at their portfolio, they got a ton of stuff under that portfolio. But something that's interesting, even though it's only been purchased so recently, there's already been rumors about Heineken severing and selling off the CVH brand, which includes some other notable distilleries in that brand. So you've got Bunnahabhain, you've got Tobermory, and you've got the Deanston distillery in there as well. So pay attention to the news. Maybe you'll see it change hands again. What can I tell you about this here? So Bunnahabhain 12-year-old, so minimum 12 years of age. The maturation comes in, they mature in both ex-bourbon and ex-sherry casks, respectively. And again, 12-year-old age stamp on this, so all the whiskeys inside of it have a minimum 12 years of age. Even though it's unpeated, there's still about 3 ppm in here. Probably not enough to even taste a bit of smoke, but it is there, and I imagine that's probably part of the clean process at the distillery, because they are running at 40% peated versus 60% unpeated. You likely can't clean the machines 100% to get all the peat out of there and all that exposure. But again, 3 ppm, we're probably not going to taste this. Comes in at 46.3 ABV, which you'll note most Deanstons have that exact same ABV. And non-chill filtered and no color added, just the way it's supposed to be, right? Presentation wise, I'll get into it. Love the presentation on the Bunnahabhain 12-year-old. Love on any Bunnahabhain. I love the tin. It's got this cool little sailor guy on the top here. It's also part of the logo. There's tons of information on here. And the one thing that I will say that needs to be noted is that on the tin and on the bottle, it states no color added and no filtering. So good for them to kind of put that out there as well. And it just gives some nice notes on the distillery. There's a little note on here from the master distiller, and some tasting notes, some aroma notes. What more could you want on the packaging? And I mean, the bottle is just pretty cool looking, nice big beefy bottle, and I love the red on it as well. So we'll get into the color and the pour here and take a look at the liquid in the bottle, the natural liquid. And I'm already smelling those sherry notes again. So if you got yourself an Islay, an unpeated Islay, a Bunnahabhain, and you want to pour yourself a dram and drink along, please do so. I encourage it. Makes it a lot more fun for you on the other end of this. And usually what I do too, and I haven't really stated it in any of my other videos, is that I usually would wait a minimum of probably about, for this one here, 12 to 15 minutes, just to let the whiskey kind of aerate a little bit. As Ralphie always says it on his channel so eloquently, a minute in the glass for every year in the cask. So remember that for the future, and I'll try and keep that going in my future videos. But we'll take a look at the color of the Bunnahabhain 12-year-old, and I can already tell you it's got fabulous legs on this one. So we're coming in here, and look at that color. Nice deep amber syrup, almost like a light maple syrup, I would almost say. Maybe a little bit lighter than that, and you got some nice orange notes around the side of it. Very nice, and very thick liquid. You can definitely see the tears in the side of that glass. All right, so we'll get into the nosing notes and see what we can get out of the Bunnahabhain 12-year-old single malt Scotch whiskey. Let's dive into it. This is gonna be good. Right out the get-go, it's very heavily sherried, very heavy sherry influence. The color pretty much tells you that as well. Even though they are using ex-bourbon and casks, I would say they mainly focus on ex-sherry, probably mostly first fill sherries, I would say, if I was guessing. But again, just a guess on my part. But yeah, definitely, yeah, you get you get the sherry notes, the dates, the golden raisins, the regular raisins, like the red raisins there. There's some brown sugar in there as well. Some cherry notes in there, like some candied cherries, candied orange peel too. Dark chocolate. You get some sea breeze in there too, like from the coast. It's not like vegetal or like seaweed or anything like that. This is literally just standing by the side of the ocean and getting the wind blowing in your face, and that little bit of salty sea breeze right in the air. Very, very nice nose. Cinnamon sugar on there too, some vanilla. Yeah, very good nose. Very, very good nose indeed. All right, so we'll get into the tasting notes and see what we can get out of those. So Slàinte, to your health, and let's dive into it. So 46.3%, very smooth whiskey. No real big burn. You get a spice burn on there a little bit at the end. I'm getting those heavy sherry notes, getting those dates, those raisins. There's some orange notes on there too. It's more like a candied orange, candy orange peel even, like a zesty kind of orange zest. You get that coastal note on your lips too, that salt, that salty coastal sea breeze note, and right on your lips, very, very good. There's no smoke. I didn't expect to get anything from the 3 ppm. Definitely not any smoke on there. Some cinnamon sugar on there as well. A little bit of oak, I would say. There's a spicy finish on the end, and I would say it's more like a cinnamon sugar than a real cinnamon, and maybe some black pepper on there as well. And then just, yeah, like honey. There's honey, there's brown sugar, candied oranges, dates, raisins, and then just that little bit of black pepper on there, and maybe a little bit of oak tannin in there, but not very much. No. I mean, you can see the tears on the side of the glass too. Just a very, very, very great. Yeah. Pardon. Where were we? Gotta get back to this. So we'll get on to the finish now. And I mean, the finish, I can tell you, it's a very long finish. It goes on and on. I'm still just sitting here. And when I reviewed it and did my notes earlier, it was a long, wholesome finish. It continues to develop. Now it's kind of getting me some nutty notes there, some toasted almonds maybe, maybe some walnuts, some shavings of walnuts. You still get that salt in your lips. Very good. It's very mouth coating. If you like those very hefty mouth coating, thicker liquids, you're gonna love this Scotch for sure. The coastal notes without the peat, definitely something different. You would get something like a coastal note in an Old Pulteney. This is not the same as an Old Pulteney by any means. It's just really much more of that salty sea breeze in the air. And yeah, this would be a great, if you've never had a sherried Scotch before, and you wanted to get in and try and see what a real hefty, I shouldn't say sherry bomb, but it pretty much is. If something that's really heavy on those sherry notes and is well-rounded and complexed and all that jazz, I would definitely say this is the dram for you. You need to try this dram. You need to go out and get it and really just take your time to go through all those notes and see. And if you like sherry and you haven't had this dram, like where have you been? You really need to go out and get it today. Yeah, before I kind of give my my last bit of away, we'll get into the value proposition. So in my area, this comes in at about $105, and I used to think that was a little bit high. And when I say used to, I mean about a year and a bit ago. But it's always been that price in my area. And at $105, this is a this is a steal. It's going to go up. I know it's going to go up. Everything else is going up, and it's been at $105 for quite some time. So at $105, what's comparable to it? From an age stamp, you can get a Glenfarclas for about the same price. Glenfarclas 12, great. One of my favorite 12-year-olds. But it doesn't have that coastal piece. It doesn't have those layers, and it doesn't have the ABV to kind of back it up. So yeah, an Ardbeg 10 in my area is much higher. It's not gonna be the same kind of thing. Even like an Aberlour 12-year-old is 95 bucks. But it doesn't give you, again, don't get the ABV, you don't get the natural color, the unchill filtered, and the layers and the layers and the layers that go with it. So, yeah, if you haven't already figured it out, it's definitely a stock. This is going to be something I keep on my bar all the time, just because I enjoy it so much. And it's a very rich dram. It's complex, mouth coating, and any hype that you've heard about it via, if you've read about it, if you've watched YouTube videos on it, you listen to podcasts about it, like, the hype is real, guys. This is the real deal, and I'm excited to try more whiskeys in the Bunnahabhain line. I'd love to try their smoked peated version, the Toich de Ca. I'd love to get in and try their 18-year-old Bunnahabhain. I imagine that would just be fabulous. If I ever can find it in my area or get a chance to try it, I definitely will. But for the $105. You got to get this dram. You got to get this bottle. You got to go out and grab it, because let's be frank, someday once they run out of stock or something, it's going to go up. So before it goes up, go out and get it. Even if it does go up, as long as it doesn't break the bank, it's going to be a stock for me. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say about the Bunnahabhain 12-year-old single malt Scotch whiskey. So if you like what we're doing at Seawaywhiskywire, you know the drill. Like and subscribe down below. Love to hear your comments. What's your favorite Bunnahabhain? Should I go deeper into the line? I mean, I think I'm gonna anyways. But let me know what your thoughts are on their peated versions. Have you tried a peated Bunnahabhain? I imagine it'll be fabulous. But if you have, please comment below. I'd love to hear from you. And also check me out on Instagram at seawaywhiskywire as well. So I'll leave you with that. All the best. Slàinte, to your health. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.